Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Called Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash. Blessing our elders with the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith in the works. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? This earth is being ran by the wicked, right? And when I say the earth is being ran, I'm talking about in all aspects, from what you eat, to what you drink, to what you wear, to what you watch, to the psychology of your mind, right, to what you believe. All of this stems from this devil that runs this earth, right? With the exception of those of us that operate in the spirit of truth, spirit of holiness, to the best of our ability. That spirit comes from Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? But everything else, man, come from this damn devil, because the Most High gave him free reign over this earth, right? But we living in a time now to where this devil is being exposed, right? I bring this script out all the time. I write along with the one I just said. But this Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. This place has been exposed for all of its wrongdoings, right? And now these surrounding nations are seeing. The first exposure came from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai through the prophets. And now the whole world is seeing this place for what it really is, right? They created a document called the Amendments, right? And the first one is freedom of speech. You're supposed to have a right to be able to say whatever it is you feel. The press used this to be able to dig into certain news and topics and present it to the world. But now we're living in a time to where that's not so, right? So with that being said, I'm going to let this video play and I'll be back.
Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. It's been 2 weeks since Russia invaded Ukraine. The military battle is still on, and so is the battle of narratives, an information war. The adversaries are the same, the Russian state media and Western media outlets. They both weaponized information for the benefit of their respective governments. So one has to navigate things rather carefully to get an accurate account of what is unfolding. Even specific battle stories are questionable. For instance, the number of casualties. Headlines in Western media say that Putin's forces are being humiliated, that they've suffered heavy casualties. Most of them are going by Ukraine's figures. They say 11,000 Russian soldiers have been killed. That is at least 22 times higher than what the Kremlin says. These wild variations also extend to accounts of destruction on both sides. Ukraine says it has destroyed more than 300 Russian tanks. Russia says it has destroyed around 900 Ukrainian tanks. Both sides say the other is lying. These differences illustrate the kind of story each side wants to offer to its own people. Ukraine wants to encourage its people through the tale of a successful resistance. Russia wants to convince its people through stories of its military gains. And neither wants to talk about the casualties in their own ranks. So which side does one really believe? Verifying their figures is a tough job. This is an armed conflict, remember. Access to combat zones is limited. There are no independent observers. So we don't know how much of the information is being filtered, modified, blocked, or concocted. Multiple storylines, multiple narratives and counter-narratives are doing the rounds. The first one is that the Ukrainians are successfully defending their land. How then did Russian troops reach the outskirts of Kiev in just 2 days? The second narrative is that Russian troops are making slow progress. How can they gauge the pace of Russia's progress with no access to Russia's battle plans? There's also a third narrative, which is essentially a moral binary. Whatever the West says is right, and anyone who does not accept this narrative is trying to undermine Ukraine's sovereignty. Now, all of these narratives can be challenged, should be challenged. In the age of social media, unfiltered information shapes opinions. What's worse, social media is not a level playing field. It is controlled by the West. I'm talking about tech giants like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, and Apple. These companies, these private companies, have openly aligned themselves with the West. They're pushing the Western narrative and restricting Russia's side of the story. And this is problematic. I will tell you why. First of all, let's tell you what they've done. They've sanctioned Russia digitally. Remember, no government sanction forced tech companies to cut ties with Russia. There was no legal or regulatory obligation. These companies just decided to take a side based on the perspective of their stakeholders. Google has barred Russian state media from monetizing content on its platforms. Apple has gone one step further. It has suspended all product sales in Russia, cut Russians off Apple Play and other services. It has also blocked RT and Sputnik from its app store everywhere outside Russia. Then we have Twitter. It is labeling all posts by the Russian state media, adding a warning of sorts on pro-Russian stories. Then we come to Meta, the parent company of Facebook. It has left its contemporaries way behind. I'll show you a report. It was released on Friday. It says Facebook and Instagram will allow posts calling for violence against Russians and their president Vladimir Putin. Isn't that criminal? Won't this promote hate? Won't this incite hostility against all Russians? These tech giants are overstepping their purpose, deciding when it's okay to call for violence and when it's not. And this sets a wrong precedent. It also raises strategic questions for other countries. What if America were the aggressor in this conflict? What if the US had invaded another country, which they have in the past? Would these tech giants have done the same? Look at this map now. It shows all the countries that the United States has either invaded or been militarily involved in. Do you know how many there are? The US has invaded or fought in at least 84 of the 193 countries recognized by the United Nations. And none of what I've just told you justifies Russia's actions. The invasion is wrong and criminal, no two ways about it. What I want to underline here is the hypocrisy of American institutions, the selective approach of big tech. In 2021, 3 American rights groups released a report. It said that instead of staying neutral, big tech made huge profits from America's war on terror, especially Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. They were awarded $44.5 billion in contracts, $44.5 billion, from the Pentagon and the US Department of Homeland Security. What were these contracts about? Aiding the US military in its operations, providing them with digital tools that can be used in wars. What kind of tools? Crucial databases, cloud computing services, surveillance, drone technology, even pushing narratives. The report says that Facebook alone sold $350,000 worth of advertising to promote America's federally funded Extremism Watch. It covers stories on violent extremism trends in Islamic nations. Facebook helped this government-owned platform promote these stories. And this was just one contract. This report says that there were hundreds of other contracts and subcontracts that were awarded to American tech giants yet to be made public. Just to be clear, we're talking about platforms that have a direct line to the hearts and minds of billions of people the world over. 2.7 billion people use Facebook daily. 206 million people use Twitter daily. YouTube has 122 million daily active users. Imagine the kind of reach and potential big tech has in manipulating global opinion about America's actions, in controlling conversations about a conflict America is involved in. Things get murkier when you look at who's running these platforms. A report by another US rights group says that hundreds of former US government officials are currently serving in key positions at big tech companies. This includes officials from the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security and Justice, the National Security Agency, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is Jared Cohen. He was a policy planner at the US State Department. He currently runs Jigsaw, a technology incubator created by Google to develop counter-terrorism tools for social media platforms. This is Steve Pandelides. He worked at the FBI for 20 years. He's currently the director of security at Amazon Web Services. This is Joseph D. Rozek. He worked at the Department of Defense. He now works at Microsoft, where he specializes in quote-unquote information sharing. And these are just a few names. There are many, many more. Reports say there's a revolving door of sorts between big tech and US government agencies, countless security officials and policymakers specializes in quote-unquote information sharing. And these are just a few names. There are many, many more. Reports say there's a revolving door of...
Right. So all these big tech giants, bro, yes, they ain't nothing but a branch on that bird, bro. Right? Same people that basically make the laws for this place, the same people that tell you what you can and cannot say are the same individuals that are working at these companies. That free speech thing been dead. Been dead. So if that been dead, what they say for the Constitution? This the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. These are devils, bro. These are devils, man. Right? And like I stated before in a previous video, right? They don't want you to see the whole story of things. That's why they take certain things off of the internet, because it's all about persuasion and power, right? How they do these countries, man, it starts with propaganda, right? Back in the day before the internet, they could say a dictator did, first and foremost, they can call a person a dictator and then say said dictator did A, B, C, and D. The only way we would be able to see it would be to cut on the TV and watch the news. But now that the internet has been invented and something can happen over the seas, and we can see it in an instant, that same strategy, it don't work no more, right? So now they're going into drastic measures to make sure that it's only one side of the story that will be told, and that side of the story is a side of influence to try to get you to see their way. But it's two sides to every story, bro. Right? But unfortunately, like I read from the jump, Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. These devils are running this world in all aspects of it. All right? And go to the book of Isaiah. Let me see. Isaiah 32 and 7. Matter of fact, 6. It says, for the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Right? The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. Right? So some of those individuals was telling the truth about what's going on overseas, but we'll never know now, seeing as though those avenues have now been shut out. And like I stated before in previous videos, it's only so much amount of time before this word, right, these prophecies get taken off of the internet, and they only push one side of a story pertaining to the Most High's people. They've already sowed seeds, right? So it's only a matter of time, man. So in the meantime, all we can do is just keep the faith, keep watching, keep these works, man. This second Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 13, it says, go and ye shall receive, pray for few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. right? That's all we got to do. Hold it down till Shiloh come. And when Shiloh come, we out this thing. But in the meantime, between time, we just got to deal with this damn devil, man. And understand that he's not going to express the true narrative of situations. So you have to take what he says with a grain of salt, right? This is the book of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20 and verse 25. Let's see. It says, a thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie, but they both shall have destruction to heritage. At the end of the day, this is what the devil got to look forward to, is straight up destruction. Script just called out two wicked individuals, a thief and a liar. Right? We know who the liar is. This devil, like I just read in John 8. Right? But this thief is the same individual, like it's written in the book of Exodus, chapter 21. Matter of fact, let me get there right quick. Exodus 21 and 16. Let me see. Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16, it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Right? So this devil ain't got nothing but destruction ahead of him. And he trying to hold that off as long as he can. But at the end of the day, it's your time, man. It's your time. It's only so far you can run. There's only so much time you have to rule. Right? And it's your time. Right? So like I said, man, just watch and pray, man. And when these stories come out, about anything, Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Iran, so-called Israel, the daughter of Babylon, man, hey, be circumspect. Cause you just know it's a whole nother going on, and you'll never know it till it get brought to light by somebody or some event. Right? So with that, man, Yahweh Shemel Shai Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Hara Kakudash, Shalom Yahshalom.